We're recording.
Let's get it.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of North Court's, your home for everything Canadian basketball. This time to start off, we're going to head to the line for three. Meghan, what's something that caught your eye in Canadian basketball this week?
I think the biggest thing in Canadian basketball is the fact that the men are taking part in the AmeriCup. A couple notable names. I know Jevohn's going to touch on one, so I won't give it away. But Keza Kajami-Keen is essentially making himself a well-known Canadian men's senior player and continuing to really strive at the point guard position. So I'm really excited to see what they can do in this AmeriCup.
You know what? Similar to Meghan, it was, the Canadian national team playing in the AmeriCup after all of the chaos that we've heard before about them not showing up and the fines and all that and so forth. But I think more importantly, I was just excited to see Anthony Bennett on the roster. This is a guy that was number one pick in the 2013 NBA draft and has, virtually gone MIA. So I wasn't even sure that he was still playing basketball. So I'm excited to see what he's going to come out and what sort of shape he's in and how he's going to be able to produce.
For me, I'm going to take it to the NBA. We saw the OKC Thunder take on the Los Angeles Lakers, and they lost in an OT thriller. And a clip that went viral was Luguentz Dort, Canadian Luguentz Dort, defending LeBron James and doing whatever it takes to get a stop. I mean, look at this clip. He's got the hand out. He's barking at him, doing whatever he can to throw it off. You're not going to see anything. You're not going to hear anything. And then LeBron has to settle for the jumper that he misses. I mean, the comments on this one were hilarious. You've got Kofi Jackson saying, man's hit him with the Lil Kim defense. And then Christian Gonzalez compared it to Sparky Spirit Fingers from Bring It On. I mean, this clip is hilarious. But jokes aside, Luguentz Dort has really stepped up with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out of the lineup. Shai, he's missed the last 3 games with a left knee sprain. Here's hoping he can recover soon enough. But in those 3 games, Luguentz Dort is averaging 17 points, 5 boards, and 2 steals, really getting it done. So here's hoping that he can continue to keep that up. Now we're talking about Keza Kajami-Keen. We're talking about Anthony Bennett, Luguentz Dort getting it done. All of this, you can kind of tie it down to the Carter effect, and there's so many different players who have had an impact over the past few decades to get Canadian basketball to the point where it is now. And I think one thing we'd like to do right now is just pay tribute to some of the faces that maybe don't get enough credit. So Jevohn, let's start off with you. Who's someone that you want to shout out?
Vivek, before you even finished, I knew off the top of my mind who I was going to go with, and that's Denham Brown. This is a guy that when basketball was kind of dead in Canada, he really revitalized it, went on to, he could have picked any school to go to across America. Was a 2nd round draft pick to the Seattle Supersonics. And more importantly, he was a winner, a guy that won 2 NCAA championships with UConn. And I was actually on the bench in high school when he scored 111 points. So, there's that, and I think he just created an avenue, created a blueprint for guys like myself and the generation to come to really be successful, and just lay that platform and help build that landscape for guys to continue and further their careers and just change the narrative and allow people in America, allow people globally to understand that basketball is big here in Canada as well. So,
Meghan, how about yourself?
I have to go with Canadian Stacey Dales. Played at University of Oklahoma, was drafted by the Washington Mystics into the WNBA, also played for the Chicago Sky. And she, for women in Canadian basketball, was one of the, few that were going south to the NCAA to play and take their talents south of the border in order to try and get more looks, try and continue playing at a professional level. And that was during a time when not many women were going south of the border. And, another name that comes to mind as well, too, is Raquel Nurse of the Nurse family who went to Syracuse. And those were 2 names that really put going south and playing basketball for women and for girls, making it become a normalcy. And now you look at Stacey Dales and what she's doing as, you know, one of us on the media circuit with the NFL network and consistently staying in sports. I think those are two names that we need to pay homage to. But for me, I looked up to a girl like Stacey Dales.
I'm going to shout out Sherman Hamilton. I'm sure a lot of people who see him now, you know, associate him with his coverage of the Raptors on the radio, on TV, but he had a great college career with the VCU Rams, repped Canada at the 98 and 02 FIBA World Championships, obviously was at the 2000 Olympics in Sydney alongside Steve Nash and Rowan Barrett. And I think he's someone that has gone on to establish himself. He's done so well in the broadcast and radio side that maybe people forget the other stuff. And so, Jevohn, I'm sure, you know, you can relate to that where you're trying to set that path now too.
I understand it. Sherm's actually a big mentor of mine. You know, I texted him just the other day, just asking some advice on a situation. And I actually, you know, when I hear Sherm, I forget like he's Sherman Hamilton, the basketball player. I often see, like you said, Sherman Hamilton, you know, the broadcaster, and then, but we poke fun at each other. I call him the old head, and I'm always texting him Unc, and he's always texting me nephew. So it's a great relationship. We have a lot of fun with it, and there's just a lot to really, we walk the same path. So, you know, he's tremendous for me in my growth and just getting that, you know, that mentorship from him.
Now, as we continue to pay tribute, we're going to head to our starting fives, where this time we are going to look at all-time Canada starting fives. Now, Jevohn, don't think you were able to sneak your name into that all-time five without me noticing. Tell me about you and the four others you got in there.
I know I'm in broadcasting, but I still have to respect myself. I'm still a competitor now. I'm going Bill Wennington. I'm going Steve Nash, two-time MVP, Jamal McGlure, NBA champion. I was going to throw myself in there. You know, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to go with me. I know Meghan hates that, but I'm going to go with myself.
I don't hate it. You were trying to be, when we were on our production, okay, full disclosure, we were on our production call. We were talking about this episode. V, you know this. I was saying, like, Jevohn, you are included in that Trailblazer conversation. He was trying to be all humble about it. And I said, you know what, okay. But now he wants to add himself in there, Mr. Humble.
Playing it cool for the camera. Meghan, what about you? I saw you be able to sneak him in there too.
I did, because I didn't think he was going to do it for himself. But really quickly, we're going to get to the women's, and I already know I have an issue to pick with Jevohn's starting five for the women's side, but for my men's side, I have Sherman Hamilton, Steve Nash, who I actually got to witness that 2000 Sydney Olympic team play in a friendly, I believe it was against Brazil, at McMaster University in Hamilton, and I got Steve Nash's towel, full of sweat, which now being a germaphobe completely disgusts me. And I got my short signed by Sherm and Steve Nash. So that's kind of cool. Random kid story. I got Todd McCullough, the 7-footer, Andy Routens, the shooter, and I got Shep.
Oh, you kept it young.
I did. I went with who I witnessed play, even though I didn't see Leo play. I wanted to put him in there, but I never got to see him play. So I went with my all-time players who I have witnessed play.
So are we saying that Andy is the best Roughton?
Ooh.
I gotta wait and see.
Putting the pressure on you now.
I gotta wait and see Sammy grow up. I gotta see Sammy play professionally.
Okay.
But right now, Andy's the better professional. Yes, I give it to him over his dad.
On the men's, I've got Steve Nash, Jamal Murray, Rick Fox, Tristan Thompson, and Jamal McGlure, Big Cat. Now, Meghan, you had a bum to pick there, but any issues with the women's teams that we picked?
I do. Okay, Shep.
Yes, ma'am.
What did I do
now?
How do you have current still playing players in your all-time when we don't know what their career is going to look like?
Because they're built like that. They're winners. I went with winners. That's all I did. Just winners.
I can go with that. I'm just saying, for me, all time, I'm going with who has retired and is no longer playing. So for me, I've got Stacey Dales, I've got Tamika Nurse, Tamara Tatum. We got to give them their flowers, and Miss Tammy Sutton Brown, and another fellow native Hamiltonian, Shona Thorburn, the PG.
So we were only two off. Like we pretty much had the same list.
Yes, but you had people who are still playing. I gotta wait and see what their
nurse.
career finish is like.
I had a nurse. So I'm gonna go Kia Nurse. I'm gonna go Tammy Sutton Brown. I'm gonna go Tamara Tatum. I feel like she's actually the pioneer for this new movement, and you know the women having so much success that they're having. And Kelly Boucher, the first Canadian in the WNBA.
And just real quick, for me, I picked on the women's side. I know, Megan, you're gonna have an issue. I got some current players in there: Kia Nurse, Stacey Dales, Sylvia Sweeney, Natalie Achanwa, and Tammy Sutton Brown, the GOAT. You can see a little bit of the beef that's going on with the picks here. Let us know who you'd like in your starting five all time, both the men's and the women's. Be sure to catch us next time. In the meantime, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and catch all our episodes.